out dark, which is a basic fundamental law of the universe which can't be broken. And especially as these large companies want forever profits, which they do, and they own everything. Like, I don't think many people understand. If you go into Sainsbury's and look around at the brands, you will struggle to find 10 brands that aren't owned by the same company.
Yeah.
The whole thing's owned.
Yeah.
The same company that owns Sainsbury's owns every brand. They own everything. So if they want forever profits, which they do, they're not going to do that without
owning everything.
Well, and also, you have to take that money from someone. If they can make you poor so they can get rich, they will. If they own all the assets, they want inflation. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care. Why would they? So, and you can also look at it from a global perspective, which is quite interesting, because America was built off the back of World War II. World War II made America rich. But Europe, for the longest time, got rich off the exploitation of second and third world nations. That's how it got rich, by building empires in Africa and Asia, etc.
Colonizing countries.
Yeah, colonizing countries. That's how they got rich. And now we have populations in Europe and in the West which are decadent, and we want high wages, and we want maternity leave, and we want holiday pay, and we want good working standards, and we want good working hours, and we want nice chairs to sit on. Now we're entitled. And if you're a company and you need slaves, do you want entitled slaves, or do you want slaves who are just going to do their job for low pay? And then you start to understand why immigration is being unchecked on purpose, so they can bring in people to try and work jobs for basically nothing, who don't want a standard of living and don't want a standard of work. And what they're effectively doing now is, instead of exploiting the second and third world to benefit Europe, the globalists are now decimating Europe on purpose so that they can live somewhere else. And okay, that's going to prop up the economies of the second and third world, so the whole thing is reversed. Instead of destroying the second and third world for the benefit of Europe, they destroy Europe, and that's going to benefit the second and third world. But they're globalists and they don't care. All they care about is forever profits. They'll go live in Saudi. They'll go live in Mumbai. They don't care. They're not tied to the land or tied to the place like the average European is. So if you're the average man in a European country and you're not financially free and you're stuck somewhere in the middle, not only is your life going to get harder, but also the place you live in is going to get worse. Your wages are going to go down. Crime's going to increase. All of these things are going to happen so that the people in charge can get their forever profits and avoid all the mess they make. And it's all done purposefully. If I was an average person, I'd be genuinely afraid. I mean, it's easy for me because I have so much money. Okay, I'm currently restricted in Romania and I'm under a matrix flag. Blah, blah. One day I'll get out, and one day it will be over, and I'll still be a millionaire, and I can look at the map and go, where is safe? Tokyo. But most people can't do that. They can't do that. They're stuck. And the fact that that doesn't bother them or they don't panic, I find flabbergasting. I mean, the iceberg has struck the Titanic. How long can you have a border where people can arrive by dinghy and throw acid in people's face until your nation has fallen? How long will you allow this to happen until you realize it's done?
It's done.
It's done. And how long will you sit there and get hit by endless bills that continue, inflation that wrecks your currency, wages that don't increase, new taxes with ULEZ cameras, unchecked immigration for people who don't have a passport, crime rates increase? Bro, I said this to Tristan. We were saying how we miss England because we're English in our hearts and part of us miss it. And I was saying, you know what? If I lived in England, I couldn't even protect myself. I have guys here with guns because I'm currently on bail and I can't carry a gun. Otherwise, I'm strapped all the time. If you come to my house, there's a big gate and there's pit bulls and there's 4 guys with weapons, guns. You need SEAL Team 6 to get in my house. There's bulletproof doors and I have a gun next to my bed. I'm the final boss. It's going to be a shootout. In England, I can have all the money in the world. I can go to Radlett. I was looking at a house in Radlett. I'll say it right now. It's 12 million pounds. It was gorgeous. And I thought, it's worth 20 million. 12 million was worth
Bargain.
Bargain.
Yeah.
And I was like, Tristan, if we bought this house, the problem is we couldn't even protect ourselves because eventually someone will work out it's our house.
It's just like all the footballers.
Of course.
All the footballers, when they go to play matches, they all get robbed.
Bro, eventually someone will work out it's our house. The only way you can protect yourself in the West now is to hide. I was like, we can buy this house, not put it in videos, not put it on social media, not invite girls over, because you know what will happen? You'll invite a girl over, right?
Yeah.
She'll say, I'm coming with my friend Lucy. We're like, okay, Lucy, she comes. Lucy turns up. She's a 7. You don't talk to Lucy. Nobody likes Lucy. She sits around. She's a 7.
She's in the location of yours.
She sends to, she knows, next weekend she's out sniffing coke with some dickhead. And she's like, I was at Tate's house. No, you weren't. Yeah, I was at Tate. I was looking at this picture. Where was it? Here. Boom. Bop. Now they now know where your house is.
Location
they start
drop.
talking about it. Mr. Bugatti, Mr. Diamond Watch. I'm sitting in my Radler house. There's fucking 25 windows, 6 door entrances. I'm like, Tristan, we can't even hire armed guards. Who could we even hire to protect the house? I could come along with $1 million a month contract. I'd end up with G4S, some old man sitting in a little box. And when they rock up, 20 dudes with blades, it's over. You can't even be rich in England unless you want to hide.
Tell me this, yeah?
I wear a $400,000 watch in Bucharest, Romania. In London, I can't wear it. In London, I don't wear it. So we're talking about how the nation's failed. You could be rich in England, and you're still not safe. You still have to pray they don't find you. You have to live like a hermit, like a cockroach under a rock, and hide. Or maybe you get a chance to call the police before they chop your wife's hands off. Oh, that's great. That's how fallen this nation is. And there are people there with no money. They're not even rich like me. They have no money. And they're sitting there going, it'll be okay. Maybe if we get Rishi Sunak out and get another one in. No, it won't. No, it won't. It is a failed society. You need God. Revert to Islam and move to Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, none of that will happen to you.
This is what I was going to say. So tell me, picture this for me. Yeah, paint me this picture. The case is dropped. You're free to go wherever you want. You get on your private jet tomorrow. Where do you tell the pilot to go?
Well,
so I'm talking about to reside, not just holiday.
Yeah, to reside.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's interesting, because I really truly believe the Western world has fallen now. And one of the things I prioritize now in my stage of life is safety. I don't see the point in anything if I'm going to end up killed. But if you're going to kill me, at least the Matrix has to kill me. At least make it a cool story. He was telling the truth. He did fun podcasts. They assassinated him. Make it good. I don't want to die because some idiot wanted my watch. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to die for that. And I feel like the whole Western world is that dangerous now. I make this clear. When I go to London, I'm probably the most nervous. I don't know how anyone lives in London without feeling nervous. I'm so nervous all the time. And it costs me such an exorbitant amount of money. If me, my brother, and a couple friends go to London, we'll jet from here, that's 50 grand. And then there's 4 of us, there's 4 rooms, and we want to stay in a 5-star hotel, so that's $2 grand a night, so that's 10 grand in hotels. And then I have my security team there, it's $3 grand a day. So it's 13 or 14 grand a day in hotels and security, 50 grand to get in. Then I'll go shopping, of course, normal. But even when I'm walking around Harrods, my head's on a swivel. And I've got 3 dudes with me who are 6'8". And I'm still like... And then you'll hear about someone get robbed just outside Harrods while you're in Harrods. You're like, how do people live in this city? And they're just living there like, oh, it's so bad. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've never had that. This is the capital of the poorest nation in the European Union. I've never had any problems here. I've never had, I drove a Bugatti around the streets. I parked my Ferrari on street corners. I wear a $400,000 watch. I've never had anything. Yes, I have security. Yes, I had armed guards. But for the years before that, I've never had any trouble.
What's interesting about it as well is that these things stand out from the crowd. Obviously, I've been here for, a couple of nights now, and you don't ever see Ferrari, Bugatti, Lamborghini, or anything like that. So when you see Tate in his Ferrari, you know.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. If this was like London, you're target 100%.
Oh, bro, 100%. This is my point. Lucy would give the location up, and I'd be a target, and I'd be decimated. So how do you have a nation where you're not allowed to be wealthy without hiding? Where you can arrive without a passport? Where they can't catch people who decimate people's faces with corrosive substances? Where there's people in a room, those who are supposed to be designated towards enforcing law and justice, trying to put me in jail because I said women can't talk. This whole thing is a clown show. This whole thing is a clown show. And only God can save us now, my friend. I don't know what the West is going to do. But this clown show is built on the back of the taxes of the hardworking average man. You're the average man. Not only is your life fucked, not only is your future fucked, not only are your children going to be finished, you're paying for this. You are paying for all of it. And then, if you ever get to a point of finance where you don't have to pay for it as much, or you can escape, one of your ex-girlfriends will call you up and demand money. And if you don't give it to her, you go to jail. What planet are we on? The Western world has fallen, and empires rise and empires fall. This is the cyclical nature of the universe. That's fine. But to sit and try and pretend it hasn't fallen is hubris. It's being an ostrich and sticking your head in the sand. And the smartest thing the average man can do is realize that yes, the Western world's fallen. And two, you have 10 years to get into the higher class, the higher social mobility class, or you and your bloodline are eternally finished forever.
Yeah.
Which goes back to a point I said earlier. If I'll teach you how to make money online for $49 and you just give it less than a decade to save your entire bloodline and you do not join, well then you're a loser. And your great-grandchildren will wake up one day in their slave yards and cockroaches and they'll ask their mother, why was Granddad a loser? Why didn't Granddad try and save us? And you're going to have to sit there and come up with some answer for them. You say, oh no, he was busy.
Try and justify somehow.
To justify it. He was busy. He was jerking off the Pornhub. Oh, he was busy. You know, it was hard for him. It was a bad economic climate. Give a bunch of excuses to your bloodline as they continue to be slaves forever and washed my children's cars. Fine. But if you have a brain, you're going to understand running out of time. You're going to fix it. Especially if you understand the nation you're in is sinking. The Titanic you are on is about to sink. Everyone in England, it's done. It's over. It's done.
So where do you go?
Good question.